to In the Huddle, a short-form interview series powered by CoachCorner, the platform connecting youth sports coaches with the programs that need them. I'm your host, Jordan Leonard, and each week we sit down with standout coaches shaping the future of youth athletics. These are real conversations about what drew them to coaching, the mentors who inspired them, and the lessons they're passing on to the next generation. Whether you're a seasoned coach, an up-and-comer, or just someone who loves the game, you'll walk away inspired and maybe even ready to get in the huddle yourself. Now let's get into it.
Welcome to In the Huddle by CoachCorner. We have current D1 soccer player at LIU Post, an experienced youth sports coach, current soccer coach with Soccer Stars, and pursuing a degree in biology. Welcome, Coach Sofia Shakham, to the podcast today. Coach Sofia, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Coach.
Yeah, of course. Cool. Well, let's talk about your current role. I know you just started recently over with Soccer Stars as a youth kind of soccer coach for kids. How's it going so far? I'd love to hear about it.
I had my first shift this weekend. I had so much fun. Working with kids is super fulfilling. I worked especially with the younger ages, but then I worked all the way up to 11 years old, and it's so fun watching the youngest group all the way up to the 11-year-old and seeing how they progress in skill level and how you can change your methods and how everything kind of connects throughout the day.
Nice. I love that. How are the 3 or 4-year-olds different from the 10 or 11-year-olds, and how do you have to change your coaching style towards different age groups?
Well, I definitely say for the 3 and 4-year-olds, it's all about fun. 100% about fun, just making sure the kids connect with themselves, with the coaches, with the soccer ball, and make sure they just have a smile on their face at all times. And as you connect and you go up to the 10 and 11-year-olds, of course you want to make sure they want to have fun, but you also make sure they get that technical aspect, some drills, some more competitive activities, but still with a smile on their face, of course.
Yeah, of course, always. That first and number one rule, in my opinion, is coach with a smile on your face and have fun.
Of course.
Yeah, I love that. Cool. So jumping into soccer, obviously you're currently playing at LIU Post. Soccer's been a part of your life forever. How do you think it's shaped you both as a player and now coach in your life?
Well, my first experience with soccer was actually with Soccer Stars in the Lower East Side when I was about 2 years old. So my first experience was now where I'm currently coaching. And I think that soccer's just helped shape who I've become. It's helped teach me responsibility, discipline, and it's really kind of led me to a pathway to coaching because since it's something I'm passionate, I want to help spread the love of the game and just joy through the sport.
Nice. I love that. Isn't it cool to see how everything comes full circle? You started playing for this organization when you were a toddler, and now you get to kind of be on the flip side and coach them.
Of course, and it's so cool to see that there's kids that maybe one day they'll be playing soccer, hopefully at LIU or other programs, and hopefully then they'll get the opportunity to coach as well at a program like Soccer Stars.
Nice. Depending on the age group, how would you define your coaching style or philosophy, working with kids outside of just having fun? We know that, but what's your style or philosophy, and what do you think your best skill set as a player is that you translate to coaching?
I would say my mindset mostly to coach is just competitive energy always, because the best way to be challenged as a player is to make sure you're competitive, whether that's against the other kids in the group or just making sure that you're constantly trying to compete with yourself from the previous round, making sure you're getting faster, making sure you're getting stronger, technically quicker. And I think that just comes from a long background of being taught the idea of wall ball and just having that self-discipline, which teaches you to be competitive within yourself. And then when you translate it to a group setting, 1v1s or in a game.
Cool. I love that. Yeah, I always read try and be 1% better than you were the prior day. And if you can focus on doing that, it's going to keep gradually and doubling every single day, and you're only going to get better. You probably won't realize, a year, 3-4 years from now, how much better you will be if you only just get 1% better every day.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Is there a coach or a mentor that kind of you look up to and get inspiration from that has been a really big positive role model influence in your life?
I would say my first private goalkeeper trainer, because I am a goalkeeper, was Brittany Angel, and she played professionally in the NWSL, and then she ended up going to PA school, and she kind of followed the track that I'm somewhat interested in. And she taught with such like that competitive nature while still making sure I was having fun, making sure the drills were difficult but also like enjoyable.
Hmm.
And I learned so much from her, both as a player, and I take her style into coaching, whether it's on the field or as a goalkeeper. And I just use kind of what she gave into like my everyday life.
Oh, nice. I love that. She inspired you to become a goalkeeper in the first place. I know sometimes goalkeepers are just kind of forced into it, or you raise your hand. Because I have some friends that were goalies back in the day. How did you become a goalie in the first place?
One day, I used to play on this team in third grade, and it was kind of my first experience with a more competitive level.
Yeah.
I wasn't all too good on the field, and then one day my goalkeeper wasn't there, and they said, "Soph, do you want to play in goal?" And of course I said yes, and I was just diving all over the place, and then they were like, "This is where we think you belong." And just from there, I like I was seeking every opportunity I could to play in goal, whether it was training or
Yeah.
anything, and I kind of just fell in love with it because it's soccer, but it's so different than like
Yeah.
what everyone thinks of as just soccer.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And it really has the most it's like spotlight outside of maybe a goalie and an attacker, right? Especially in soccer, all the highlights and the biggest plays are coming from the goalie more often than not, and you're getting a lot of celebrations, but also the first one to look at if a goal gets in. So it's definitely how do you handle I guess pressure as a goalie?
I mean, it definitely is a lot of pressure. Like, most of it comes from yourself, and I think most goalkeepers will kind of agree with that you have this, like, internal pressure not to let your team down, not to let yourself down. But I think coming back to, like, the fun that I talk about that I do with coaching, like, as long as you come back to, like, your why and why you love it, you can kind of just let go of the pressure and play for 90 minutes and have fun, which is what it's
Yeah.
all about at the end of the day.
I love that. Yeah, no, that's so true. It's if you think about the reason you get to play soccer and have fun doing it, enjoy the moment.
Exactly.
Love that. Obviously, relatively new to the coaching side of the world, but maybe you can speak to it as a player as well. But do you have a most fond coaching memory or playing experience or a speech that a past coach gave to you that was like really inspirational and motivating?
Yes, one of my coaches back at like my first competitive club, it was actually at a goalkeeper training and it was a rough day. We were in the rain. Everyone seemed a little bit frustrated. No one was playing their best. Like balls are slipping everywhere. And he just told us like you take that anger and you use that as fuel. All of the best goalkeepers are a little bit angry all the time. And something like that was just so funny and inspirational to me because he was kind of taking a negative thing and using it as a positive experience. And every time I get frustrated at goalkeeper training, I think of this coach and I am like, it's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be nervous, but use that, take that energy and just put it into your game because like soccer's an art form and that's kind of how you should
Yeah.
use your emotion.
That's cool. I love that. So when you get ready to punt the ball after you make an awesome save, you're just booting it across the entire field.
Exactly. You use that anger and you kick it 75 yards.
Nice. That's great. So obviously you've played for your entire life, and so you know a lot of different drills and skills that you probably teach kids nowadays. If you ever run out of ideas or don't know exactly what to do, are there any resources that you use to find local drills that you can learn and teach, or do you just have such a repertoire of different drills that it just comes natural to you?
Honestly, I think the best resource you can use, especially today, is like go on Instagram Reels, go on TikTok, something, just search up drills. And if you know you're going to be coaching 10 and 11-year-olds, maybe you kind of look in that age range. Someone that's a great resource is Beast Mode Soccer. I think he posts mainly on YouTube, but he has like an amazing set of drills that you can just throw in if you need it, like just on one tap.
Yeah, cool. I love that. Yeah, definitely utilize social media to its advantage. How did you know that you wanted to get into coaching? And like what motivates you to become a better coach every day?
I just want to make sure that like the youth of today has the opportunities that I've had. I've been fortunate enough to have great coaches that have helped me get to this point and make sure I love the game because soccer is so beautiful. And I kind of want to allow the kids that I'm coaching to enjoy it as much as anything because sometimes there is this toxicity in youth soccer. And I just want to make sure that if someone comes to me for coaching that they leave, even if soccer is not so much their thing that they leave and they have a smile on their face and they have an appreciation for the game.
Cool. I love that. So obviously with the new role, so in general, the job market is tough, whether you're looking for a soccer coaching job or something more corporate. And so big thing that we do is, help work with local coaches and help match them to local programs as well. Talk about your interview process, and was it challenging to find local jobs before getting connected to Soccer Stars? What was that process kind of like for you?
I was really seeking out more coaching opportunities. I coached multi-sport, like basketball, soccer, just kind of to really young kids at my previous job. So I did have like recent experience. So it wasn't all too difficult to like get an interview. But I felt once I was in the interview process, you really kind of have to step up and show what you're made of. Like I had to do trial classes. I had to do multiple like stages of interview, being asked different questions. And I felt overall you just have to be well prepared, but you also have to be enthusiastic and show the people that you're interviewing with like why you want to do it, because they want to see passionate people that are there because they want to coach, not just because they want a job.
Yeah, 100%. So what do you think like the number one or top two qualities that I guess Soccer Stars is looking for when hiring you?
I would say kind of back to that passion, just passionate people usually make good soccer coaches, and then just making sure you're responsible with communication and like being on time, everything like that, because that's what your job is anywhere. You have to make sure you communicate to your bosses, to your coworkers, and just all that type.
Yeah, 100%. Sometimes the simplest things like that just get lost, but you have to stick true to like those roots and treat any job like it's the most important thing in the world, and be reliable, be consistent, show up on time, communicative, everything like that really sets yourself apart from anyone else.
Exactly.
And so kind of going off that a little bit, maybe something different, what advice would you give to somebody who's kind of looking to break into the world of youth sports coaching that might not have the most experience, but is looking to get a start somewhere?
I would say just go in with confidence, know what you're capable of bringing to the sport, know what you're capable of bringing to the youth, and then just kind of convey that to the people that hold like the power of giving you one of these positions. Just explain like why you're there, and I think showing your passion, showing you are confident in yourself and your abilities will really help make you stand out from the other people you're interviewing with.
Awesome. I love that. And what do you think is like, do you have a dream as a player, as a coach? Like what's future Sofia look like in terms of the soccer world?
Honestly, as a player, I play at LIU, as you said before. I would love to just gain some recognition in the NEC and potentially be the NEC goalkeeper of the year next year, or NEC rookie, as I redshirted this past year. So just kind of making sure I'm working hard every day to achieve that goal, and then spreading that love to the younger kids throughout my coaching. Cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sofia, for the time today. Best of luck this season and next season at LIU and your current role with Soccer Stars. Excited to follow you in your career. But thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your words of wisdom and advice to the next generation.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to In the Huddle. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and follow us on Coach Corner Team on all socials for more updates. If you'd like to join the series or know someone who could be a great fit, email us at hello@coachcorner.io, and we'd love to chat. And as we say, always in your corner, Coach Corner.